Ursula Reutin.
97.3 FM. News and talk, powered by the Pacific Northwest.
The Big Lead is brought to you by 3010 Weight Loss for Life.
The Dori Monson Show on KIRO Radio. This is The Big Lead.
Chaos reigns in the Carter Subaru studio as I begin the big show this afternoon. Whew, I'm out of breath now. So my monitor, it's working now? Doggone it. I had to move to another microphone because my monitor didn't work.
You know, if anyone's not watching right at noon, they need to start watching on our...
It's chaos. It's absolute chaos.
What needs to happen before you can turn on the mic? It's pretty amazing.
It doesn't matter if I get here at 7 a.m. or if I get here at 10:30. It's chaos.
You know.
Right when noon hits every single day. Okay, I'm going to go back to my usual spot because I'm uncomfortable in this one. Okay, I'm walking over to my regular microphone now.
Which is 3 feet away.
Yeah, I made it. Okay, but we got a good show today. We've got such a great show put together for today. Brock Hewart, of course, the Money Monson quarterback. He'll join us at 12:30. I have a very sad update to an incredible interview that we had a few months ago that I will share with you later today as well. So we got all kinds. Oh, and Tim Eyman, he lost in court. The Attorney General says that he has been laundering money for his personal use, that he's been laundering it through an out-of-state charity. And Tim Eyman, of course, refutes all of that. But most shockingly, Bob Ferguson wants to prohibit Tim Eyman from any future initiative efforts forevermore, which is unprecedented. I mean, murderers, rapists, when they get out of prison, they're not told that you couldn't organize an initiative campaign, but they want to do that with Eyman. Now, if Eyman's guilty of any of the stuff that Ferguson's accused him of, that should be adjudicated in a court of law, and he should pay a price for it. But to tell somebody, not only will we punish you for your alleged crime, and by the way, Eyman thinks that all of these charges are completely cooked. And I do think Bob Ferguson is the shadiest public figure or public politician that we've ever had in the state of Washington. So we'll talk to Tim Eyman about all of this coming up at 1:30 this afternoon. But let's get right to our big lead.
The Big Lead. Top story.
I did something Saturday night that I hardly ever do. I try to keep things pretty positive on Twitter because there's just no value in engaging negativity on Twitter. And I know that that's what seems to dominate, but that's not the kind of stuff I want to do in my free time. I've got enough turmoil when I'm on the air for 15 hours a week. I don't need that in my personal private time. For example, the stuff I tweeted about this weekend. There was an eagle in my backyard. Beautiful, majestic, going after a critter. And I put a picture of the eagle up on Twitter. My dog, Buddy. Oh, I'll tell you this story in the Fastest 15. It's so sad. It's heartbreaking. We think Buddy broke his tail this weekend. He's sad. So I'll talk about that in the Fastest 15. But then I did one other thing on Twitter that I shouldn't have done. But I saw something that really ticked me off involving a local political figure. Ron Sims was King County executive. He was the chair of the Sound Transit Board during that agency's absolute nadir. Its very worst period was with Ron Sims at the helm. And Ron Sims wanted to be governor of Washington. And even Dave Ross said on the air, well, it's pretty clear If Ron Sims wants to be governor, he's going to have to go on Dori's show and answer the criticisms. Because I was tough on Ron Sims. I was very tough on him. And for a very, very good reason. And Ron Sims finally agreed to come in and do an in-studio interview with me. Now, what he did not know was that I had a source, rock solid, who had access to Sound Transit finances. And Ron Sims came on my radio show, and they were trying to get Sound Transit 2 passed. And the deal was with Sound Transit 1, which was a disaster. The Sound Transit 1 is 13 years behind schedule, tens of billions of dollars over budget, and he's one of the main reasons why. And so I said, because all of that was clear to me, one of the deals with Sound Transit, and I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, because I really want to talk about how ultimately sad what happened this weekend made me. But just so you have a full picture here. Sound Transit 1 promised we will get to the U District with these Phase 1 dollars. And as I said, I had access to somebody who had access to the Sound Transit financials. And I knew that was an absolute impossibility. And as I said, they still aren't to the U District. They're to Husky Stadium. They are not to the U District yet. They're 13 years, tens of billions over budget, behind schedule, over budget. Ron Sims wanted to get Sound Transit 2 passed by the voters. And he came into this studio. And I asked him, I said, are you going to be able to honor your commitment? You're going to get to the U District with the money that the voters, the taxpayers have already given you? He looked me right in the eye, and he spoke to you right over this microphone. And he said, yes, we have it. And I devastated the man, because I had access to the books, and I knew he was lying. And he ended up stammering, and it was a horrible moment. And I'm proud to say it's likely one of the reasons that Ron Sims never became governor of this state. I bring all of this up because Saturday evening, I saw a tweet from Ron Sims. Now, if you go to his Twitter profile, it talks about that he's a man of faith. His dad was a Baptist minister, I believe. And Ron Sims has always talked about how he's had faith guide him in his political career. And I was thinking, when I read this tweet from him over the weekend, it was, here, let me read to you his Twitter profile. Board Chair, Washington State Health Benefit Exchange, retired. Deputy Secretary HUD, former King County exec. So, Ron Sims this weekend tweeted, "It is time for this great nation to acknowledge that we must pray and keep praying for a change in our immigration policy. Our present border policies are inconsistent with the teaching of Jesus. Silence is the intimate companion of disinterest. Prayer works." I went crazy. I went crazy when I saw that. This lying scoundrel lied to me and to my listeners so he could secure another multi-billion-dollar vote from the most criminally corrupt public agency in our nation's history. And so I wrote back on Twitter. And this is the part I haven't deleted the tweet, but this is not how I usually roll on Twitter. So I wrote back, "I must say, it's really weird to see Ron Sims tweet about Jesus when he so blatantly lied to me and my listeners about Sound Transit and its finances to bilk taxpayers out of billions of dollars. Have you asked Jesus for forgiveness, Ron? Do you want me to pull the tape of your lies? I'll pray for you. So that was Saturday night. And those are words that I do not say lightly. I'll pray for you. I mean, I know a lot of people say that, oh, you'll be in my prayers. If I'm going to say that, I better live it. And Sunday morning, my wife and I were at church, and there was a moment for silent prayer. And I thought, I'm going to live what I said on Twitter last night. And I was praying for Ron Sims, who so easily, so comfortably lied to bilk people out of billions of dollars. I prayed for Jay Inslee, who lied about never raising taxes and then has signed off on the 3 biggest tax increases in our state's history. I prayed for Donald Trump, who lies all the time. And I felt helpless and sad in that moment because I don't think anything. I mean, I truly believe, as a believer, I think God can do incredible things. I don't think politics is savable. The kind of people who are attracted and their addiction to power and money, I don't know how it changes. Maybe we can get some good people in who actually have faith. But, does Ron Sims pray, for the family of Ryan Thompson, the deputy who was murdered by an illegal, as he prays for changing our immigration policy? Do you pray for the Angel families? Do you pray for the people who have been, the survivors in the family of people who have been murdered by illegals, Ron? Do you pray for them? Do you pray? I mean, your party has gone radical in favor of infanticide. In New York, in Virginia, they signed bills. A woman can be in labor and they can kill that child as long as it's on the other side, as long as it's still inside the mom. Full 9 months, mom's in labor, yeah, we can kill it. If the mom will be depressed afterwards and one radical doctor says it's okay, then we can kill that child, that baby. Do you pray about that, Ron? I'm so sick and tired of hearing politicians. Yeah, Donald Trump on the campaign trail proclaimed, his deep faith in an interview they asked him, what's your favorite verse from the Bible? And he said, I'm not going to cite anything specific. I'm sure it's because he can't. I'm so tired of people who pretend to have faith, but all it is a way for them to exhibit their politics. And so in that moment of silent prayer on Sunday morning, I felt so helpless and hopeless about the kind of people who are attracted to politics and how it's all a game. I doubt if Ron Sims prays for the... Well, I'm not going to say that. I don't know what he does. But I know he lies. I know he lied for the sake of politics, the supposed man of God. I know that he lied to take billions and billions of dollars from the people of this region. That I know. That I can say with certainty. And when you are praying about border policy, when you have proven to have so little character in the arena of politics and truthfulness, it made me upset on Saturday. It made me feel helpless and hopeless about where we are politically on Sunday morning. Up next in the Big Lead.
The Big Lead. Big local.
And then you look at what happened. How in the world? Seattle City Light, its administrators, the highest paid city employee. Seattle City Light had a near tragedy over the weekend as power pole after power pole. One pole fell, and then a chain reaction of poles. 26 of them came down, one landing on a car with Linda and Tom Cook inside. They talked to KIRO 7 News.
I thought I heard a boom and a flash, but it was also quick.
And here's what husband Tom in the driver's seat saw.
We were driving, and I saw a flash in my rearview mirror, and I looked, and it looked like a power pole, and as I watched, it fell down. But I saw other power poles start to fall behind us, and it looked like they were, all falling. So I was starting to head back into the normal lanes of travel, and that's when the pole hit us.
That's when the pole came down on their car. And if you have seen the pictures of this, it is, if it's not a miracle, it's a pretty fortunate coincidence. The pole crashed down on their car right in between Tom and Linda. I mean, a few inches either way, it kills one of them.
Power pole came down into the car, and between us, I could only see his hand because it was bleeding. We could talk to each other.
Right.
And
so you knew pretty early that you at least were alive.
yes.
Well, yeah, I think, therefore I am. That's one of the only truths in our universe. So the crossbar hit right between the windshield and the sunroof.
Second cross piece on the pole hit the car above the windshield, between the windshield and the sunroof.
And that was all from KIRO 7. They also talked to Channel 4, ComoNews.com, where Linda Cook said,
Wasn't my time. And besides, I decided I wanted to live to be 100.
she wasn't ready to die, but Seattle City Light's got a lot of questions to answer. 26 poles came down, and it is so fortunate that no one was killed. And that is your big lead for today.
The Big Lead on KIRO Radio.
Hey, it's Monday afternoon. That means Brock Heward, the Monday Monson quarterback. He's going to join us right after Ursula checks the news next.
This hour of the Dori Monson Show is brought to you by Insulation North.